Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sumit and I'm excited to be your guide and instructor for Salesforce PRM solutions. Today I will be introducing you to Salesforce Inspector Reloaded, a must-have browser extension for Salesforce admin, developers, and consultants. If you are working with Salesforce data and need faster, more efficient ways to query, export, and manage records, this tool will be a game changer. So first of all, Salesforce Inspector. And before we begin, yes, as always, feel free to ask your questions and share your thoughts. And if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, so hit the like button, subscribe button, and stay tuned for more Salesforce tips and tools. So let's get started. So first of all, what exactly a Salesforce Inspector Reloaded is? So Salesforce Inspector Reloaded is a powerful, lightweight extension for Chrome and Firefox that enhance your Salesforce experience. With it, you can run SOQL and SOQL queries. We can export and import data. We can view metadata and debug your own org in real time, all by using a simple interface. And in the recent updates in Salesforce Inspector Reloaded, they have introduced that is called REST API. So by using Salesforce Inspector Reloaded, we can make API calls also the way we used to do, either by using Postman or we used to make the REST API calls by using Workbench. But now Salesforce Inspector Reloaded is a lightweighted tool which can help us to test the API calls, which helps us to make the REST API calls on our Salesforce platform. So let me show you how the Salesforce Inspector looks like and how you are going to install the Salesforce Inspector. So in order to install the Salesforce Inspector, because it's an extension, and in my case, as you can see, I have already installed that. So here the Salesforce extension, Salesforce Inspector Reloaded, I have already installed. What you have to do, you have to search for Google and look for Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. And here you have to download and install this. The way we used to install Salesforce Inspector, in same manner, we have to download and install this Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. It's a productivity tool, especially for the Salesforce administrators and developers to inspect the data and metadata directly from the Salesforce UI. And what all are the key features? So basically, there are some new key features have been introduced in Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. We can it helps in providing customizing the extension shortcuts. It supports SOQL and GraphQL languages along with SOQL. New REST Explorer to run any API from the extension without any external tools, without using any Postman or without using any external tool. We can make API call directly by using Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. Load recent records from pop-up, customize extension favicon, check query plan on data export, enable logs, and so many. These are the and many more. So to know more about Salesforce Inspector, you can visit this URL and you will get to know more about that. So in today's video, I will be going to show you how to use Salesforce Inspector in order to make API calls, in order to make REST API calls, in order to run SOSL queries, and also in order to write GraphQL queries. So let's begin with this. Let me close this. Now, in my case, I have already installed Salesforce Inspector. So let me show you that. I just click on a small icon on my right side, and you can see I'm getting an option called Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. Now, I just wanted to make an API call. So when we scroll down, you can see a beta version has been placed for REST Explorer interface. So I click on REST Explorer beta, and it will open in a tab. So as you can see, this is the REST Explorer beta, and here we can make API calls. So uh, the best part about this Salesforce Inspector Reloaded is that it gives you the templates also, existing templates, which you do not get in other tools. We have to write the codes over there, write the complete queries, but here we are getting the templates. For example, I just wanted to fetch the records. I want to make queries. So see, there's a get method. So here are all the methods like get method, post, patch, delete. To know more about these methods, to know more about the API calls, I have prepared a detailed video about REST operations on Salesforce using Postman and Workbench. I will share the link in the description below. You can go through that. So here I just select the template and you can see my query is ready. It's possible to customize this query. I just want to modify the query. I just write select name, comma, type, comma, industry from account. And when I click on send, you can see the query get executed and I can see the response. This is the response in a JSON format. The status code is 200. That means the query executed successfully. This is how we can make API calls. This is the get request. I just write a query in order to get record, in order to retrieve record. If I want to add a new record, so then we have a post method. So we click on post, and not only this, it gives a sample also. As you can see, this is the best part about this Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. It not only gives you the sample templates, but also it gives the sample body also. Whereas in other tools and external tools, we have to write everything. So let me do one thing. Let's try to add a sample record, and I'm going to add a sample record into account object. So first of all, let me go and check how many records are there in account right now. So on account object and all accounts. So right now you can see I got 39 items. I'm going to add a new account from here. So services slash data version 61.0 S object, and I just want to add a new record into account object. Name is, let's say, Salesforce Inspector Test Account, and I just want to add phone number, phone. I just want to add two fields and click on send. Once we make a request, if the query is okay, this will run. Otherwise, as you can see, it's showing an error message as 200, sorry, 400. And what's the error? We can just check it out the error. The process failed. The reason is, the reason here is cannot execute the flow trigger. So there's a trigger running on this account object. So we have to look for that. So the issue here is there is a flow on this particular account. So let me do one thing. Let me deactivate this flow. This flow was running a different certain operation. So let me deactivate this flow and let's try again this operation now. And as you can see, when I click on send again this time, the request completed successfully. I got the status code as 201, and the response in response we receive the ID, the success equals to true, and there will be no error. So that means the record added successfully. Let's go and check. And I'm going to check the record created this week. The record is Salesforce Inspector Test Account, and that's the phone number. So the next operation is I would like to delete a record. And in order to delete a record, we already got an existing the method, the request method will be delete, and this will be the complete query. And I would like to delete a record from account object, and the record we added, the record we created today, that was Salesforce Inspector Test Account. So I need the record ID for this particular record. I copy the record ID, and then I pass this record ID over here. And when I click on send, you can see I got a confirmation message. The status code is 204. That means the record deleted successfully, but it's not going to respond anything. But if we try to check this record again, if I refresh this, it will throw an error message that this record does not exist. And if we'll go back to accounts and look for that particular record, we will not be able to find that record because that record moves to recycle bin. So if I'll open the Salesforce recycle bin, I can find that record here. And if we want, we can restore this record from here, from the recycle bin back to the back to the account object. So that's the way we can perform the REST operations by using Salesforce Inspector. And if you have any Apex REST web service class, if you have added Apex web service class, so that Apex web service class can also be called from here, the way we used to test, the way we have tested from Postman. In same manner, you can call here. Okay. Now the next, I just wanted to show you that how can we make, how can we run SOSL queries by using Salesforce Inspector. So therefore, I click on Data Export, and in data export, what we have done, usually we saw the template like select ID from, let's say, or I just write, this is SOQL query. I just write, let's say, select name from account. So this is my SOQL query. But I just want to run SOSL queries, and for SOSL queries, we can find out the existing template. So I just write here find existing template, and from this drop down, I just select find in name. I just wanted to find what I want to find. Let's say I want to find name, find name, find name in name fields, returning contact name, comma phone. And when we run this query, when we click on export, instead of this, when I write select Peter, find Peter and run export, as you can see, there is one contact name as Peter Paul. So if we look at the contact records, so let me open contact object, and in contact object, let's see the contacts we have. So there are contacts, let's say author song is there, Jack Rogers is there. So I'll just write here find Jack and click on run export. So you can see Jack Rogers. Like this way, we can use SOSL queries. And now there is one more functionality in Salesforce that is called GraphQL. And about GraphQL, to know more about GraphQL, please go through my previous recording, previous videos where I've explained how do we write GraphQL in LWC components. So we'll be using GraphQL here. How can we use GraphQL? So in order to write GraphQL, so again there's a template here. Find, as you can see, the third from the top, the third template, and this will be the code. So UI API query contact edges node ID comma name, and we want the value of name. So it will display all the contacts from an account. So this is a GraphQL query, and when we run export, we can see response. So as you can see, I'm able to get all the response, their ID and name from contact object. This is the way we can write GraphQL queries, and we can customize the queries based on our requirement. We can customize the queries, and there are certain other options like add deleted record. If any record has been deleted, it will include that as well. We can copy this. This is an export, so we can copy this into Excel or CSV and save that. So that's the way we can perform the operations. We can perform REST API operations by using Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. We saw that how do we write SOSL queries, how do we run SOSL queries, and how do we write GraphQL by using Salesforce Inspector Reloaded. So that's all in this video. If you have to know more about this course, to know more about the topic, you can contact us for more updates on the Salesforce course. You can visit our website or reach out to us on the given numbers. You can contact us on the given numbers, or you can drop an email to us. That's all for the day in this video. We'll come back with some new updates about Salesforce CRM. So do subscribe our channel if you haven't subscribed till yet, and feel free to ask your questions if you have any. You can post your you can post your comments in comment box below. And yes, don't forget to press the bell icon. So that's all for the day. Bye everyone. Have a nice day. Bye.